Hello, I promised I would be back, and here I am. I'm back. We're talking about self-love and money. And I alluded to this morning. I wanted to do a whole live. It was just too windy outside, so I am now peacefully at home by myself, and the house is quiet. I'm so thrilled. So I want to talk about this super important conversation, and it's super much, like such bad grammar, super much on my mind this week. Just listening to so many of my friends and just women I know in this world going through these struggles right now. And I think it's because a lack of self-love. And I want to deep dive into what does that actually mean. And I think what's happening is a lot of women are finally, like I was saying about the lunar eclipse, it's here to expose that unalignment in your life and where things are not aligned, where your subconscious and conscious meet and your soul meets and like all the things are meeting and they're not happily lining up for you for what you deep down value and what you want out of this life and what you want your dream life to look like. And your dream life, by the way, just on a side note, is here. It's not over there. You create your dream life here now and it's not over there. It's not something to be attained. It's something to attain now. It's here in the now, if that makes sense. So when you're not living in this space, I know I was just chatting with my fitness coach and she mentioned shadow work. And I'm like, you're living in your shadow self when you're not living. And you know when you're not in alignment. You know when you're not giving yourself self-care, self-love, and you don't love yourself truly. It's because you've been picking away over the years and giving little bits of your heart, little bits of your brain, your soul, everything away. And you've been not only giving it away, you've been out of integrity with your word, right? So that's so huge. So here are some things I want to talk about practically getting into self-love. And this will, by the way, like totally translate into a bigger, how do I say this? At a bigger bottom line in your bank account, right? This totally equals money. And I'll get into that at the end, but I want to start right now by going over what self-love is and how you can give it to yourself. I think a lot of us think self-love is like going for a massage or going to the spa with our friends. Like, no, self-love is not that. Self-love is, well, it can be that, but it's like way more than that. It's like this deep love and falling in love with yourself where you're at. So here's the first question. Okay, I'm gonna go through a whole bunch of different things that I've like drafted up in my head this morning as I was on my walk. So the first thing is, are you getting enough touch? And before you go down a dirty path, which you're welcome to go down the dirty path, 100%. But I was chatting yesterday with Lori, my beautiful craniosacral therapy guru, and we were just talking about how some people crave touch of another human. And we are missing this. And this last year, you guys have left so many women and so many people who thrive on being touched and held and hugged. This has crippled so many women I know because they haven't been able to be touched in the way that they need to be touched. And that's not a dirty thing. Touch is so important, you guys. That's so key. So that's like, honestly, the first thing is, are you getting the touch you need? And yes, that can be from a lover or a partner or kids, but it can also be from strangers, like getting a hug, right? So touch is so important. Sight. You probably haven't done anything crazy this year. You probably haven't traveled much. Are you taking care of yourself in a way where you are seeing new things, having new adventures, seeing what's out there, having like a change of scenery? That is so huge. Like giving your eyes some eye candy, that is so huge. So are you getting the sight? So we've got touch, we've got sight, we've got smell. I treat myself to flowers every week in my office. And if you can't afford that, find something that you can smell. For me, I have candles, I have incense, I have coffee, like fresh coffee, grinding it up. Like what totally turns you on? Not your neighbor, not your partner, not your kids. What turns you on? You need to find that. Then you get into what else? Hearing. Like, what are you hearing? What are you listening to? Is the music you're listening to upbeat? Is it something you love? Is it the music you love? Or are you just liking the music for your partner's sake? Like, I absolutely hate hate Hits One. I can't stand listening to top hits. I don't know why I've always had this thing since like grade 5 or grade 6 that I absolutely hate listening to the top hits of the day. I just can't do it. Every once in a while, I'll pick out one song I might actually like. But in reality, nope, I'm an old soul at heart. I listen to old music. I'm super old, and my kids like to tell me that because they listen to Hits One all the time. But what are you hearing? And on that note, too, are you using your voice? Are you hearing your own voice? Are you spreading your message? Are you singing? I honestly believe the happiest people in the world are singing. They're singing people. They like to sing a song and like be all happy, right? Like happy people sing. Miserable people don't sing. Like be around people that sing. Literally, it's so uplifting to your soul. So what are you hearing? What are you hearing? And is it your own voice? And are you sharing your message authentically with the world? And so I think that's like all of them. Yeah, sight. Oh, and taste. I forgot taste. Are you tasting good food? Are you tasting good wine? Are you like loving what you're putting in your mouth? Oh my gosh, that sounded really bad. But are you loving what you're putting in your mouth? Like this is so important, okay? But above all of the 5 senses, are you being in integrity with your word? And here is where self-love comes in, you guys, because what's happening is if you keep breaking promises to yourself, you are then telling yourself, and this is what my other mentor, Aurora Light, she's amazing, you gotta follow her. Aurora was saying today on her Instagram, she was just talking about how you become the most untrustworthy person when you do not keep your word with yourself, when you are not keeping the intentions and setting in your calendar and scheduling, you know, that time with yourself. If you don't keep the dates you set with yourself, you are completely acting out of integrity, and you chip away at trusting yourself, and you don't trust yourself. And then when you do not trust yourself, it is very hard to come to a place of self-love. And that I think is absolutely so key, like with all of this. Sometimes I'm just seeing the shift that's happening in a lot of women right now, and I feel your energy, and I know you're going through a super hard time right now. There's a lot of women I know going through a really hard time, and I think it's because they've been out of alignment with this key factor, with the self-love. And sometimes you guys, and like speaking from experience, I've broken my world down. I have lived in my car for 30 days. I have like taken my world down to nothingness, like, you know, 7-8 years ago. I don't even know how long ago, but like I've done that. And then I've like rebuilt my life. Like you might have to go through a dark night of the soul to get to a new place, to be able to rip that house down that you've built up to the foundation, to even like the ground level, to then start again. And that's hard. And it takes so much courage and so much strength to tell yourself, and it's all about admitting it to yourself, that your life isn't working for you the way you wanted it to be working for you. It's really easy to see, by the way. It manifests itself in like weight gain or weight loss. It manifests itself in no money, or maybe even too much money but burning yourself out. Like it'll manifest itself. You'll know. Like this isn't something you just have to like actually sit with it, and like your higher self will always guide you, and it knows. But the problem is you've been shutting up that higher self. You've been shutting up that voice inside of you for so long, and putting everyone else ahead of you, putting your partner, your husband, your kids, your everything, business, whatever it is for you, your pets. You've been putting everything else first. And you need to start pulling it back into yourself and putting yourself first. For me, I wake up at 4:30 a.m. You don't have to do this, but I wake up at 4:30 a.m. so I can give to myself first. And that is how I'm able to fill my day and give to my kids, my clients, my business, the girls that work in the office. Like I'm able to give more of myself to human beings when I have that alone time. I want you guys to fall in love with yourselves to a place where literally you could almost be happy with no other humans around for a long time. Okay, I love humans, so I'm like, no, I can't live without humans, but you have to fall in love with yourself so much that it's so sad when you're done your alone time and you just look forward to being with yourself again the next day. I laugh with myself. If you saw my Instagram stories today, I did a twirl. Totally, like when I'm in the field, I'll like pretend to do dance moves by myself, and I'll like, I've been trying to like master like this like spin on one foot pivot. Okay, really pathetic, but I'm getting close. I think I've decided I need something better than like grip runners, because the grip runners kind of stop it for me. I need something with like a bald shoe on the bottom, but I'm like mastering the spin, the twirl. I'm totally mastering it, like, because it's fun and I love being with myself. I want you guys to love being with yourself, and you don't always have to be with other people. And so, for example, so say you plan to work out with a friend or something, and then your friend quits and then you don't do it. Or your friend says she's busy and you don't go exercise. You need to keep what's important to you and what you value there, and you need to be able to stick to it and do the exercise even if your friend isn't doing it. Does that make sense? So that's the kind of integrity you need to have with yourself. When I say you need to put yourself first, you need to put all the commitments that you are making to yourself first. That is absolutely how you live your legacy. I can end it there, but I'm not going to. But I will. I just want to say, I have like one other point to make. And this is the other point I want to make before I say like, finish it up with the good old live your legacy. When you aren't taking good care of yourself and you aren't letting yourself breathe and letting that nervous system just relax into a place where you can actually get healing, and you don't take the time to heal, and that sometimes just is quiet time or going for a walk or whatever it is for you. For me, it's that, or meditation. But if you don't give yourself that time to heal, you will start creating dis-ease in your body, and that will manifest itself out as actual disease. Maybe 1,000 years ago, it manifested itself out as boils and mumps, but it's going to manifest itself out as cancer. It's going to manifest itself out as all sorts of things in your life. And this is just why it's so good to like be in alignment. And this also goes back, you guys, and I will really speak to this. A lot of depression is from a place of not holding that integrity with yourself and not having that self-care. And a lot of depression comes from, God's tapping you on the shoulder with a message and you're not answering that calling. Your true calling, whatever that is for you, whatever that is, it could be grand, it could be, just like cleaning your home and taking good care of your kids. That could be your calling. But if you're not answering that calling, that the big guy, the universe, has been knocking so gently on your door for so long, and you're not answering the calling of your heart, it's going to end up as disease in your body. It will end up as the dis-ease, and you won't feel at ease in your own body because you are called to something higher. You are here for a bigger purpose. And that is what I want you to step into. And on the topic of sales, when you speak your message, when you light yourself up, because it is your job to light yourself up. It's not your partner's job. It's not anyone else's job. When you fall in love with yourself, when you light yourself up, and if you are in sales, we're all in sales of some sort. When you are in sales and in business and you have your own business, that is when your bottom line, your money and your bank account will fill up, because money doesn't want to go to a place where there's self-hate. It doesn't. Money will flow with love because it's energy, and your whole money is your energy, right? We've talked about this so many times. Like, you have to understand that money is just energy. And if you're harnessing that in a loving, abundance, like bountiful way, it is going to flow easily to you. But you have to stop putting everyone else first. This is my plea to you, who is the mom, who is like, you've got your fur babies, you've got your business, you've got a million things, you got grandkids, you got whoever, you got families. Like, I have a huge family, extended, huge family. You got to stop putting everyone else first. You've got to start putting yourself first. And it's so counterintuitive to what you've been trained, which is why I say you need to sometimes break it all down to the foundation to build it up again. You guys, when you do that, you step into your power, you stand in your power, you align with your higher self. You can literally harness all the energy of the world, all the abundance. Everything is there for you, and it's here for you right now. It's available to you right now. It's literally a choice. It's a decision. And it's just that awareness and just taking that time to just say, hey, I love you. And you have to love you. And everything else from there will flow. But just fall in love with all of it. And I absolutely guarantee that you will live your legacy. Go check me out, Jumpstart Your Wealth, book a financial clarity call with me, because I will help you align into your money and into your home-based business, all the financial things from implementation to everything that is going on with your money life right now and the mess it's in. We're gonna combine the whole physical side of money with the intuition and emotional and spiritual side of money. We're gonna help that just flow into alignment in your life. So go check out Jumpstart Your Wealth. And I love you guys, and I hope you love yourself today. Have a good one.